If you've ever found yourself reaching for your phone without even realizing it, and then wondering how you just lost an hour to scrolling, you're not alone. For ADHD brains, phones are like a bottomless candy jar. They light up our dopamine system, give us endless novelty, and make it almost impossible to stop once we start. But here's the good news: you can create a healthier relationship with your phone without relying on sheer willpower. Today, I'm sharing my top strategies for overcoming ADHD phone addiction. And no, I'm not going to tell you to just use more self discipline. That doesn't work for us. Instead, there are a handful of ADHD friendly strategies that make this so much easier. And by the end of this video, you'll have some practical tools you can start using today. So, ADHD brains are cue driven. That means we respond to what's right in front of us. If Instagram or TikTok are sitting on your phone home screen, your brain is going to click them before you even think about it. That's why the first step is designing your environment so that your phone isn't constantly pulling you in. Here's a few ways to do that. Number one, delete tempting apps. Yep, I said it. Get rid of the social media apps, games, or news apps that you know are your weak spot. If you really need them, keep them on your computer. Adding that friction makes it a choice instead of a reflex. This one was a huge game changer for me, though there was one step that I had to do before I could do this to make it easier, and I'll share that in a few minutes. Next, create distance. When you're working or winding down for the night, put your phone in another room, charge it in the kitchen instead of by your bed, and use an alarm clock to wake up instead. That way, you don't fall into the "I'll just check one thing before I fall asleep" trap, because you know it's not one thing. Lastly, organize your apps. Put tools you actually want to use, like your calendar, meditation app, gratitude app, or audiobooks on the front page. Not in folders, just the app themselves, because folders can get overwhelming. Then hide other apps in folders on back pages with labels like energy drainers. The extra taps give your brain just enough time to reconsider, is this something I actually want to do? So think of this as being like baby proofing your environment, only this time you're making it ADHD proof. The second strategy is shifting how you use your phone. Most of us pick it up without thinking. We're bored, overwhelmed, or avoiding something hard, or even just plain exhausted at the end of the day. Or if you're like most people, going to the bathroom. That autopilot mode is where time disappears. So instead, try building in intentional phone use. You could set phone hours. So instead of checking all day, decide when you'll look at messages or social media, maybe after lunch and early evening after dinner. Having boundaries actually makes you feel freer, not more restricted. Next is my favorite, is to try the app Screen Zen. This free app has been a total game changer for me and was the first step I needed before I could delete those tempting social media apps off of my phone. With Screen Zen, when you click on one of the apps you set up in it, or a website even, it makes you pause and do things like take a breath, type in why you're using this app now, or having you solve a math problem before you can open your app. There's even one that's like random. Sometimes you can access it and sometimes not. Though I think that would trigger my PDA, so I haven't tried that yet. These extra steps create friction. So basically, like little obstacles. And this is powerful for ADHD brains because you have all these things interrupting your automation of grabbing your phone and going into where you know your app is. And so when you do this, you have opportunities to pause and go, wait, do I want to do this right now? And then you have that tiny reflection, and all of that is going to be super helpful in getting you off your phone. You can also lock your screens with other kinds of friction. You can set up app limits or screen timers. On iPhones, focus modes are amazing. You can choose which apps are visible depending on what you're doing. On Android, digital well-being does the same thing. Then you can create intentional rituals. For example, when you unlock your phone in the morning, open your calendar instead of Instagram. Or better yet, open a gratitude app. My personal favorite is With Gratitude. It's great, and I believe it was free or very low cost. So, this is training your brain to associate your phone with supporting you and being used for its intended purpose rather than draining you. Think of this as teaching your brain to use the phone on your terms instead of letting it hijack your attention. So, let's talk about what's really happening when we reach for our phones. Every time you check your phone, you get a tiny hit of dopamine. And ADHD brains crave that because our dopamine system works differently from neurotypical brains. That's why we can scroll for hours. It's a steady stream of novelty and excitement and things going off. But here's the thing, we can give ourselves those dopamine hits in other ways. You can replace the hit by doing a 30-second dance break or step outside into the sunlight, or I love to hug trees, or stretch your body. Those small bursts of movement can reset your nervous system and give you the stimulation your brain is craving. You can also notice the urge. This has helped for me a lot as I've created more awareness around it, so that the next time you feel the pull to grab your phone, pause for a second and ask yourself, what am I really needing right now? Am I bored? Am I avoiding something? Do I need connection? Just naming it can give you your power back. And I'll say, as far as this, do I need connection? One thing that also helped me be better able to delete my social media apps was because when I felt an urge to open them, I noticed that I want connection. But I also noticed that rarely do I feel connected after scrolling through social media. Usually I feel like wound up and not content. And so instead of opening social media, I started texting a friend the way I wanted to connect. So that would look like, instead of sharing a photo of where I just went with everyone on Facebook, I would just text a couple of my friends about it. Or if I was frustrated about something, instead of sharing it on Facebook, I would share it with my friends. Or if I wanted people to follow a link and advocate for something, I would send it to my friends instead of on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And just doing that also helped me meet my need for connection. So that's another nice one. But just naming what's going on can start to give you your power back. Then you can build a menu of fun replacements. So write down a list of things you actually enjoy besides being on your phone. Reading, doodling, knitting, going for a walk, making tea, journaling, whatever it is, playing with your cats. Although some people find that really boring. I used to, but I got this one really cool cat toy and it's been better. I digress. So keep this menu of other things that you actually enjoy that will also spark your dopamine. Keep it somewhere visible so you have another option when your brain says, fun time. Also, regulate your nervous system. Doing things like mindful breathing or grounding practices, or even just lying down with your hand on your chest, can calm the stress that sometimes drives phone overuse. When we learn to give our brain stimulation and comfort in healthier ways, the phone stops being our only go-to. And I want to say, when the end screen comes up, there'll be a video that talks a little bit more about another piece of how we get stuck in our phones, and it's when we're in task paralysis. And if you watch that video, it will expand on this particular topic. So the last piece for today is all about accountability. ADHD brains often thrive on external structure, and when it comes to something as addictive as phones, support can make the difference. So create a buddy system, like find a friend or co-working partner who also wants to cut back, and check in with each other on how you're doing. You could use FocusMate. This body doubling tool is incredible. So when you're on a session, you're far less likely to sabotage yourself with scrolling. So you could use this for things like getting work done during the day, or you could use it for getting chores done. You just set the settings up. I think you get 3 free sessions a week, or the plans are very inexpensive. Another option for accountability is making it public. Tell your partner, your kids, or even in your online community, announce that you're doing a phone-free challenge. Just knowing that someone else is aware keeps you more accountable. And lastly, have tech free zones. Set agreements in your household. No phones at the dinner table or no phones in bed. This way, it's not just you, it's a shared structure. Accountability takes the weight off your shoulders and makes this feel less like I just need more willpower and more like I'm supported. So here's the big picture: overcoming ADHD phone addiction isn't about having more self control or discipline. It's about designing your environment, creating intentional habits, supporting your nervous system, and leaning into accountability. You don't have to do all these at once. Start with one tweak, like setting up screens then, deleting that one app you always get stuck in, or moving your charger out of your bedroom, and notice the difference. Your phone doesn't have to run your life. With small ADHD friendly strategies, you can shift from being trapped by it to using it as the tool it was meant to be. And if you found this helpful, check out my free 5-step task master plan. It's full of ADHD friendly strategies to help you stop procrastinating and finally get things done. I'll link it below. And remember, that video is about to pop up any moment, so you can check out what to do with ADHD task paralysis when you reach for your phone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.